What's up, dear nerd and geek friends, and welcome back to another geeky video from me. In this video I will be recapping my games from the RopeCon Rumble Warmachine and Hordes tournament, which took place a couple of weeks ago in Helsinki at the RopeCon convention. If you're interested in more of RopeCon, then I suggest that you check out the video that I made about the 2019 RopeCon over on the Paint All the Minis website. It's linked right up here in the screen and also in the description, so if you want to find out more about the whole convention, from the academic seminar to all the program that's available, please watch that video. It's also pretty short at only around 6 or 7 minutes. Well, let's dive right in. It was quite on short notice that I decided to play Warmachine at RopeCon, and the rules this time used around were the new Oblivion rules, and I really welcomed that change because it's going to be the rule set for tournaments and also normal games for the next year. And I think it's always nice to try out something new. And I think that the requisition points in the new Oblivion team forces and rule set is quite a good change, because it means you have a wider selection of units and you just don't need to cram in as much of Temple Flame Guard or something like that into your list to get your free cards. In my first game I faced off against Lauri and his Circle or Boros army, and Lauri was playing Chromac 1, a very beast heavy list, and it only had one unit of Sentry Stones, and that was, I think, a bit of a shortcoming of this list because we played the Anarchy scenario, so there's two big round zones on every side of the table, and you can only score these with your Warlock and Warcaster or units, and he only had one unit, so it was a little bit of a, not that easy for him to score zones. Now, shortly about my list, I decided to only play with one list the whole weekend, simply for carrying purposes. I only had this small bag with me with all my miniatures, and if I would have wanted to play a second list, I could have had the same caster with some variants, but I just felt like I want to play this list and learn it a little bit better, and that worked quite nicely for me. So in this list I had 2 units of Daughters of the Flame. One always was ambushing, so in the second or third turn they were able to come in from the side. Then I had 1 unit of Flamebringers, that are the fast cavalry unit that are super fast across the table. A minimum unit of the Choir. Then I had 4 Jacks, 2 Devouts, 1 Castigator and Blood of Martyrs, the Bonded Warjack to my caster, and then I also still had a minimum unit of Edrians with the unit attachment. So quite a lot of fast units and also advanced deploy units that were able to go in front of my lines. So on the solo side I had the Hand. That is the new Reclaimer solo on a horse, don't recall the name completely. And then I had Nishia, the Flame of Something, also a very fast solo that can shoot, and I do think that was it. So quite a compact list, but it also was able to pack a punch, I think, and it does especially well against living models. But back to my first game. So Lauri won the role to go first, and that suited me quite well, because I was hoping that he comes closer to me so that I could land an alpha strike on him. However, he was playing quite conservatively and allowed me to score in the second round, so in my second turn already a couple of victory points, and then in the third round I was again able to score while he was not able to score anything, and then in the fourth round I won the game by scenario. So I had 6 victory points versus him 0 victory points, and he was trying to charge in on my caster and try a caster kill, but we measured very diligently and looked very good, but it was just like out of reach, which was of course positive for me, because Tyra is not able really to take one of those werewolves and stand up to the abuse they can deal out. Then we had a nice lunch with a group of the people that were attending and had a quick look around the con before we dived into round 2. In the second round I was playing against Wille and his Scorn army. If I remember correctly, Wille was playing Zal and he had a lot of ancestral guardians. He had the Verox and he had the new colossal or battle engine from Scorn. That is the big stone figure. Also, Wille won the roll and he decided to actually go second, and that again is like not so good for me because I rather have the opponent come to me and play the second turn, because that usually means for my army that I can get an alpha plus the scoring of scenarios and flags, and that you're able to destroy objectives starts on the second turn of the second player. And that was also one of the mistakes I made, so I brought my Flamebringers really far up on the left flank in our game in the hope of charging his objective and scoring 1 victory point. And in his second turn he charged in and then wiped quite a lot of my Flamebringers from the table. But otherwise it felt like the game was quite in balance, even if it felt for me quite a lot that it is an uphill battle. So Wille is a very good player. He's also on the WTC team from Finland and he knows his army inside out. And I was quite surprised that we played I think 3 or 4 turns until he made his assassination run and killed my caster and won the game. But it was, as I said, a really good game. I didn't feel early on that I'm losing, because then it really drains your energy if you start to feel like, okay, I'm losing, it's not going well. But that didn't feel in that game that way. So I don't know if Wille was just being friendly and made it more pleasurable to play the game, or if that was just his strategy. Anyway, it was a really good game and I had now 1 victory and 1 loss. So the third game of the day would decide how things go. In my third game I played against Mika from Helsinki, and he also was bringing a Scorn force with Zal to the table. And he had a similar list to Wille, but instead of just 1 colossal or 1 huge battle engine, he actually had 2 of those stone guys, and then he still had a colossal, so the Scorn Gargantium, which has the massive batteries of cannons on his back. And yeah, that was also for me a real uphill battle, because my army, while I have 4 jacks that can deal out quite a good amount of damage, having 3 colossals or battle engines facing off on the table, it just it didn't look good. Plus then 2 of those gargantiums, they had like a 3-inch reach and they could also countercharge and this kind of shenanigans. And well, it was quite an uphill battle. I was happy that I was able to score a couple of zones, my own, and also some flags, but in the end I won because Mika clocked out, and I think that was really lucky for me, because I don't think that I would have been able to kill his force. So the only opportunity probably would have been trying for a caster kill, but then I didn't want to commit Tyra too far to the front, because then of course he might get a really good charge off on her and wipe the playing field with her. Well, and that was the RopeCon Rumble for me. I placed in the higher quarter of the field, so with 2 victories and 1 loss, but I did not qualify for the finals on Sunday. That would have been then only 4 people and I didn't make that cut, but I still played a game on Sunday, so all was good. And it was overall a really nice opportunity to play a lot of games of Warmachine, again against new people. I have never played against Lauri, Wille or Mika, so it was really fun to participate in the tournament. I also think that it was very well run, so Alex, who organized it, did a really good job. I think it was clear but relaxed, so you were not under a really tight schedule, so there was time for lunch and time to like switch tables between rounds and stuff like that. So I think that was very positive, and I'm looking forward to the 2020 edition of the RopeCon Rumble, and I hope that there's maybe even you there in front of the screen participating then. Well, that's it from me about the RopeCon Rumble Warmachine and Hordes tournament. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, share it with a friend that plays Warmachine and is considering participating in a tournament. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ask any questions. I will post my list in the description so you have an idea of what I played with. And as usual, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to follow along for more geek content, hit that subscribe button, and I will then see you in the next one.